welcome to Vlogmas. Come on in. So I'm wearing yak tracks, which are like snow tires for your feet. They fit onto your shoes or boots and give you added traction, especially if there's black ice under the snow. So you can see it leaves these little treads. They're amazing.
Whose woods these are, I think I know. His house is in the village, though. He will not see me stopping here to watch his woods fill up with snow. My little horse must think it queer to stop without a farmhouse near, between the woods and frozen lake, the darkest evening of the year. He gives his harness bells a shake to ask if there is some mistake. The only other sounds the sweep of easy wind and downy flake. The woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep.
Good morning. Happy December 2nd. It's time to open my Advent. And I don't think I explained very well for those of you who are new that I made my own Advent last year. I sat down on, I believe it was January 3rd, and I went through all my scrap yarn and picked out colors that were complementary to one another. And I made 10-gram minis, just hand winding, and made them into little bonbons and numbered them all. So this is a homemade Advent. It was pretty easy to make. And because it was so long ago, I have absolutely no idea what I put in here. So it's still an exciting surprise. So yesterday I had opened my Advent, which was this color, and I went ahead and cast on the litmus cowl. And I did remember after I was knitting away on this that I dyed this one myself using avocado skins and pits. So this is a Knit Picks Stroll, and it was a bare yarn that I dyed. So I'm all ready to add in my next color. Let's find number 2. Here it is. Little number 2. And again, I tied such fabulous knots that I need scissors. So let's open this up. And see what we have. Oh, that's very nice. It's a very pretty gray that will go very nicely as my next color stripe. So I can go ahead and add that in today and continue on with the litmus cowl. All right, I will see you later. Bye. I also love these pens. These are the Stettler Triplus pens, and they're actually triangular. I used these when I was teaching lesson planning and whatnot, but they're just very nice to hold. There's something about a triangular pen. So I have quite a collection of these in different colors, and I like to use them for journaling and in my sketchbook. I'm about to bake my husband's birthday cake because it's his birthday today. And he just prefers a boxed chocolate cake. That's his favorite, with chocolate frosting. But I wanted to show you a baking tool that I use that helps the sponge when it's cooking to stay flat. So the problem I've had in the past when I've used baking tins like this is you have both pieces that end up with a dome on the top. So in order to get it to lay flat on the plate, I always end up slicing off part of the cake so that it lays flat. So now that I have a baking tool, I can bake one so that it has a rounded dome, and then the second cake I put this around it. Now you have to soak it thoroughly in water first so that it's pretty wet. And then what you do is you put it around the cake tin, and it secures with Velcro. Whoopsies. And it stops the cake from rising up and making a dome. So I'll put one of these on one of my tins and the other one I'll leave without, so that I can more easily frost the cake. So once it comes out of the oven, I'll show you the difference. But these have been very handy. I don't know where they've been all my life, but I bought these last year from King Arthur baking website. All right, so I'm going to get cracking. I won't bother showing you cake making because it's just out of a box, nothing too exciting. However, I will be doing something a little more interesting with the frosting, which I can show you. And please excuse the noise you might hear in the background. They're finishing off fixing the chimney, and I can't get around the noise because I need to make the cake, just in case we lose power. All right, I'll see you in a bit. My cake is out of the oven, so let me show you the difference, hopefully without dropping them. Okay. All right, so you have this one that domed and this one with the reflective band around it did not dome. So that is the difference between using the reflective dome, the reflective tape versus not the reflective tape. So I think that's pretty cool. So I have to let those cool down a little bit and then I can frost them.
still snowing. We have about another 10 hours of snow to go, but I thought I'd bring the tape measure out and see how deep it is. So far, well, let's check it out. Here's my tape measure. Oh, there we go. Just shy of 8 inches. That's a pretty decent amount of snow. All right, we'll check it again in the morning and see how much more we got.